Advanced Conversational Hypnosis course. This method is a fast-track training system. What if you did not have to prepare or rehearse for your hypnotherapy session anymore? What if you did not have to recall language patterns, inductions, scripts, or techniques, and other fluff? What if you did not have to write a script or read from one ever again? What if you did not have to find the best suitable technique for your client? What if you did not have to give multiple sessions regardless of the problem? What if you didn't have to put pressure on yourself ever again for your client's success? My name is Virginie, and I've been trained by Scott Jensen in Australia in advanced conversational hypnosis. This method, compared to any other conversational hypnosis training, is different, as in it is intellectual property, meaning that if you haven't been trained by Scott Jensen himself, you have a different method than this one. As I just said, this method is intellectual property, meaning that at the end of this course, if you follow the principles, you will be able to implement them in your therapy sessions for your clients. But you won't be able to teach it, as you need a license. I am a conversational hypnotherapist trainer in the advanced and master levels. I am a conversational hypnotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist, and psyche facilitator in health and well-being. Introduction to ACH. In order to understand this approach, you cannot think in the traditional therapy ways. If you experience problems with the traditional fluff, therapy speed, self-doubt, unsure of what to do, what to say, if your clients aren't getting results, if you give multiple sessions, if you still have to prepare to write or to buy a script, you must think differently and drop all those old things to understand this style of hypnotherapy. A lot of this ACH style is based on how you think about this whole thing that we call hypnosis, to create a deeper perception of what is going on with your clients, to understand their mindset about their problem and why they are stuck, not to understand what you should do about it and how to solve it. What you must think is, what does a client need to think in order for them to change the relationship to their problem? It's not about what I can say, what I can think, or what I can do. It is about what they need to think. Therapy has nothing to do with you as the practitioner, as it is your client's problem. My only goal with every client is to understand the perceptions they have to their problem, the conclusions they have made, and find the kink in their conclusions, to find the flow, because all conclusions have a flow in them, thus freeing my clients of the knot they are caught in. There are 10 principles to ACH. First principle: completely detach yourself from how hypnosis should look like or sound like. Detach yourself from the outcomes, from solving your client's problem. Detach yourself from the size of the problem, category of the problem. Stop caring so much about your client, in the sense that the more you care, the harder it is for you to help them. Detach yourself from pre-arranged techniques and scripts. Detach yourself from conclusions to where all problems come from, or even how breakthrough, insight, or trance should look and sound like. When a client can no longer perceive the problem in the same way, and when they have choice in their thinking about the problem, that is when the problem does not exist anymore. Second principle. If you are feeling pressure, it means that you are trying to do something specific. You are trying to perform. You are trying to solve your client's problem. Therefore, use pressure as a warning and take a step back and bring that curiosity, this mindset of openness, in order to become very curious about the problem and to stop being into fixing mode. Third principle, do not separate problems into categories or size or intensity. Yet, however, work inside your means and your scope. Fourth principle, regardless of the problem, start in the same place. Slow down to speed up. If you rush any part of the intervention, you will slow it down. Principle number 5. There are no wrong questions. All roads lead to Rome. Ask questions with the least amount of words, no solution based, and ask questions no one else will ask. Principle number 6. Forget about single session, multiple, or length of time of the therapy. Treat the real problem, not the symptom problem. Do not prepare for anything. We know that the problem is not the problem. Therefore, the reason why your client has booked in is not the problem you will work on. Therefore, it is absolutely pointless to prepare for anything before the session. Number 7, all clients find their own solution and choice. Your goal is to lead them there through trance. Principle number 8, clients do not have to go into traditional trance or have massive breakthrough on the spot. Do not look for anything specific. All clients go into trance in their own way and have a breakthrough in their own way. Principle 9 is the processing time, the integration time, natural, conscious, unconscious emerging phenomena, the aha moment that turns into a solution. Principle number 10, hypnosis or trance becomes the icing on the cake. The therapy, untying knots, and conscious moments are what create breakthrough. Phase number 1 is the investigation phase. The purpose of the investigation phase is to understand what the problem really is. In doing so, you will be asking investigation questions that force your client to retrieve unconscious and known information. The very fact of doing this allows for trance to occur, allows unconscious moments, knots, and conflicting realities to present themselves. Each knot that is untied slowly breaks down the overall problem, and it frees your client from this negative position, thus allowing them to connect to new choice and new resources. The investigation should meet your client at their problem. not your technique. These questions create momentum in the problem and make it malleable so it's easier to nudge a client away from the problem and into a solution. Solution-based questions should not be asked. Instead, they should dig into the problem. Our goal is to take our client everywhere their problem is not and allow them to choose the best solution for themselves to access unlimited solutions. There are no wrong questions. The only important thing about each question is the response you get. Each question will nudge your client away from the problem, making it malleable. There are only two types of responses. Conscious information, in that case, ask another question about something different, or unconscious information, with an unconscious moment attached to it. Question their response and keep following that direction to reveal more unconscious moments. With enough unconscious information, you will start untying the knots and causing a deeper trance. The questions you may ask are starting with what, who, when, why, how, and where. Phase number 2, spotting unconscious moments. As you begin asking questions, you may start to see unconscious moments. Take your time with it, but at a certain point, when you are noticing your clients trancing out, start to use process instruction, or even question the unconscious moment and ask your client, what was that? This will draw their attention to it. Attention is the fuel in hypnosis. Process instructions are short statements that ratify or grow unconscious moments to further induce the trance. Think of talking directly to your client's unconscious mind and telling them this part of the mind to do more of that, meaning more of that unconscious moment. Use statements like, there you go, getting closer, all the way now. That's right. More of that. That's it. Note, use repetition of the question you asked, the answer the client gave you, to deepen the unconscious moment. Usually, what caused the unconscious moment was the question you asked. Emotional trance moment. Once you spot the unconscious moment, ask your client, what was that? Or what just happened there? Your client might explain them as feelings like a symbol, confusion, feeling, emotions. Once they tell you this, whichever one, focus their attention on it. The unconscious mind may represent the unconscious moment or even the solution as a symbol. It can be that very thing that rapidly changes your client's problem. For instance, feeling sensations like butterfly in the stomach. Phase number 3, insights and trends. As your client perceives the knot or parallel reality, focus their attention onto it. This attention will break the knot and release some more unconscious moments. This could come as emotions, laughter, pain, release. In some cases, a formal trance with eye closure might be observed. If so, use process instruction to guide your client into this trance. The guiding into trance is called shaping the trance. Essentially, it's the unconscious mind in total control of the trance, and it is the mind rearranging the new connections and choices it has found. This might occur several times with each knot that is untied. Alternatively, once all the knots are untied, a deeper trance can take over. Regardless, whenever you see a client closing down their eyes, struggling to keep them open, give them into this trance, guide them into this trance with process instruction, and use, if you want to, therapeutic strategies that you'll be able to see on the next slide. Phase 4, the therapy. Therapeutic strategies can be used to further shape a trance and keep a client's attention in this place. You can use metaphors that are examples of things that the mind can draw meaning from, stories from movies you have watched, books you have read, and that could relate to the breakthrough of your client. Silence. Let the trance do its thing. Sometimes talking in the trance stage can interrupt it. Think of it as cooking the cake in the oven and letting it rise. Hypnotic phenomena, hand levitations, hallucinations. Regardless of what you choose to use, the trance itself will do the work it needs to do. Techniques and strategies don't solve problems. Untying the knot and the trance does. Phase number 5, testing. Once a new insight is perceived, trance is complete, you must test it in order to make sure the new resource is positive. Ask your client, how do you feel now? If it's a positive response, loop it back onto the original problem. As you feel X, think about the problem. Once complete, start testing to break the new resource and find the next knot. Once you find the next knot, start the investigation phase again and follow each step. Repeat this until all the knots are untied. Remember that with each knot, a formal trance may begin, or the formal trance may only occur once all the knots are untied. The overall goal with a client's problem is to untie everything. Connect them to as many positive resources as you can. Test them all to make them robust. Find any loose ends that would cause too many sessions to be needed. Test the entire thing and leave no stone unturned. Phase number 6, demarcation. Phase number 6, demarcation. Once the whole intervention is complete, testing is done, it's time to formally end the session. Create a demarcation between trance and normal conscious thinking. The question should snap your client out of trance so the unconscious mind can start processing without having the conscious mind interfering. You may ask questions such as, do you know what's the time? What time of watch is that? Are your kids at school today? Did you hear the dog bark outside? What have you planned this afternoon? Phase number 7, conscious tasking. Once demarcation is complete, you want to start conscious or sleep tasking alongside the integration chat. Think of it as putting the lid back on the jar. Processing time. Let your client know that for the next couple of hours or even days, they may feel a bit confused and that it is totally natural. Inform your client of how the mind processes new solutions and why it does it. Sleep tasking. Tell your client to either go to sleep, to speed it up, or go or do something that keeps their mind off everything. We know that dreams are the realm of the subconscious mind. Therefore, if you task your client to sleep, you are sure to let them integrate even further the insight discovered during the session and to keep the conscious mind away. Refer to the testing program. You may ask, what's the smallest thing you could do to create the biggest outcome? To sum up, here's the advanced conversational hypnosis timeline for a session. The investigation phase. While you investigate, nuts, unconscious moments and conflicts will arise. Grow and direct your attention onto unconscious moments, which will create the trance and the therapy. Once your client comes out of trance, test the new resource they came up with. Repeat the process if needed. Then demarcation, and finally, conscious tasking.